Okay, I have a Bluetooth speaker here for you to review. I've reviewed other things by this company before, but mostly just USB cables. This is the BlitzWolf BW-F3 waterproof wireless speaker. It comes in either yellow or blue. As you can clearly see, this is the blue model. I'm going to tell you about the specs, what it does, its specs. Then I'm going to show you a little clip of I'm going to show you some music playing on it. But there's a couple of things I just want to tell you there. One, because this is being recorded, you're not hearing it in person, so the sound quality isn't going to be what I'm hearing. But I'm just going to try to be thorough and actually put some music playing it so you can see it actually turned on and working and that there is music coming out of it. Then near the end, I will tell you my opinions on it and if I recommend it or not and the price. So yeah, it comes in yellow or blue. This is blue. It has two 40mm 5-watt high fidelity speakers, 18 cores. So 18 core 40mm speakers. Now 40mm is of course the size of the actual speakers inside, and they can vary depending upon products, depending upon different speakers. Different headphones will use different sizes. Most common sizes are 40mm and 50mm. You do see some smaller like 30mm, things like that. Most common I would say is 40 and 50. These are 40, which is probably about the average, the one you see the most. Some will have 50, which means that generally speaking you will get a bit more bass from 50, but that depends upon the quality of the product, because a good 40mm might sound better than some cheaper 50mm, but the general rule of thumb is the bigger the millimeter, such as 40, 50, the more bass you get out of it. But I just like to point out that 40 is average, it is good, so don't let that put you off. Most are 40, and a lot of the times there isn't a huge amount of difference from a 50 to a 40. So these are 40, but don't let that dissuade you. They are 50 watt as well, so quite powerful speakers. And not only do you have those speakers, it does also have a passive subwoofer, and having its own passive subwoofer will get you a nice good punchy bass, unlike some that don't have a specialized subwoofer there. So that is really, really good. It has really good quality speakers with passive subwoofer. It is wireless and rechargeable. Each charge will last approximately 8 hours per charge on its 2000 mAh battery. Now that is tested at 70% volume, but at 70% volume you're going to get about 8 hours per charge, and it's not like you have to replace batteries after that amount of time or recharge batteries. You just plug in a USB cable, and a cable is included in the box if you don't already have one. It's IPX5 rated for waterproof and dustproof. So it is dustproof, waterproof, and it's even shockproof as well, within reason, of course. If you drop this from a skyscraper, it's obviously going to be obliterated, but within reason, it's shockproof, so you don't have to worry too much about a little small drop. It's not really touchy. It is somewhat shockproof, and it is waterproof, although that doesn't mean it should be submerged underwater, because it's not that waterproof. It's just really good for having outside, so if it starts pouring with rain it's going to be fine, but you can't submerge it underwater. It's not IP68 rated, it's IPX5. Don't put this at the bottom of a swimming pool or bathtub or anything, but it's great for outdoor use, because with some products you worry that if it's going to be raining, or especially heavy rain, are you going to destroy the speakers? If it gets a little bit damp, will it stop working, or but with this you really don't have to worry about taking it outside. So if you go to the park listening to some music and then it starts pouring with rain, don't worry, it is reasonably waterproof. It is IPX5 rated, waterproof, dustproof and shockproof. You can also use this as a hands-free kit for your mobile phone, so you can answer calls from it, and it does have a built-in microphone. But obviously that's really a bonus. It's not its primary use. It's not primarily to be a hands-free kit. That is a bonus that I think a lot of people aren't going to use. I won't, but it's there if you need it. Now, what if you want to use this with something that is not Bluetooth, or you're having Bluetooth connection troubles with whatever the device is, then don't worry, because this has an auxiliary audio port, and it comes with an auxiliary audio cable, and that is a 3.5mm regular audio cable that I'm sure you're familiar with. They're the type of cable a lot of headphones use. So if your device, such as your tablet or your phone, has a headphone jack, a 3.5mm audio headphone jack, you can plug one end into that and one end into these speakers and use it in a non-wireless way. And like I said, it does come with a cable for that. Its impedance is 40 decibels. Its frequency is 160 Hz to 20 kHz, so decent, good range. Its transmission range is 10 meters. What is its transmission range? That is how far away the device can be from this speaker and still pick up. So say your mobile phone, say you're playing an audiobook or some music from your mobile phone can be up to 10 meters away from the speakers and still pick up and still play. If you went, say, 20 meters away, it wouldn't pick up and it would drop connection. So 10 meters should be more than enough, because the chances are you're going to have your tablet, your mobile phone, or whatever the device is pretty close to the speaker. In fact, you might even put it down near the speaker. So the chances are you're not going to move the object more than 10 meters away from the speaker anyway. So 10 meters should be plenty of range. And unlike some devices that use Bluetooth, it's not Bluetooth 2 or 3 like a lot. It is the newer Bluetooth 4.0, which is really good, and it helps make sure it's future proof. And it's just good to know that you're using a more up-to-date Bluetooth, and it is Bluetooth 4.0. Its signal to noise ratio is 75 decibels. Its distortion THD is 1%. As I've mentioned, its playing time before you have to recharge is about 8 to 10 hours. Normally about 8 hours, might squeak up to 10 hours out of it. And for charging time, to completely fully charge this from a flat battery, from completely used, to completely recharge this, you're looking at about 3 hours. When you're under Bluetooth mode and you plug in a 3.5mm audio plug, it will automatically switch to that mode. Now, LED status, it does have a blue LED, or if you're using the yellow version of this, it'll have a yellow LED. And the LED status is Bluetooth status. Blue light flashes for pairing, and a blue light keeps on for connection status. So basically, what that is saying to you, and I'm checking the manual here to make sure I don't miss out anything important you need to know. When it's waiting to pair with a Bluetooth device, the LED will be flashing blue, and when it has a solid Bluetooth connection, it will be a solid blue light. When it is in line-in mode, it will have a solid green light. Now, what is line-in mode? Line-in mode is auxiliary mode. Basically, it's when you're using the cable instead of Bluetooth. Charging status is red light, and charging complete is red light off, green light on. So basically flashing back and forth. Okay, just before we actually play a little bit of something on this, just to show you it turned on, let me just show you a bit closer a few things on it here. Okay, it has a very nice design. It kind of looks really futuristic and sleek. I really like it. You have the BlitzWolf logo here. It is branded, unlike some cheaper products that aren't branded. This is branded here. It has kind of a rubbery feel. Kind of feels quite rubbery, especially here. You have a carry handle that's already attached, which is really good, and it's very, very soft and rubbery. Then the buttons here, I'll show you in a minute, on top are really soft and rubbery and flat, quite flat to the actual speaker, and that's probably partly to do with waterproof. Waterproof things seem to have that more of a sort of flat, rubbery button feel. Then you've got these nice kind of blue accents around the edges. You have a speaker grill there. Okay, now on the side here, I think I'm focused okay. It's hard to see it on this little small screen on the back of my camera until I edit it, but I think I'm focused here. Now on this side here, you have a little bit of a tab. You pull that tab up, and there you go. There you go. Once you lift that tab up, you have a small micro USB port for charging the battery. Then you have a round 3.5mm auxiliary audio jack, which is when you don't want to use it wirelessly, when you're not using Bluetooth. Then that one's to charge it. Then I make sure once you've used anything like that, like you've charged it, you make sure you put this back down and make sure that you push it in properly to make sure it's sealed and waterproof. If you leave this open, damp and water could get into these ports. So make sure you close it properly when you finish charging. Okay, that can be a little fiddly at first. As you see, it's popping back up. That can be a little fiddly sometimes to get in right. Okay, so just bear in mind that can be a little fiddly to seal properly, but make sure you do it just to keep any damp out. As you see, it's popping undone because it's been a little bit stubborn now for some reason. But yeah, it's not too bad once you get the hang of it. Just bear that in mind when you first get it. You might find it a little bit frustrating, but you're not going to be using that often. It's only when you're going to be charging it. You're not going to be doing it every time you use it. Nothing really here. Here's the back. It looks pretty much the same as the front, just right with the logo and some screws there. And then on the top, okay, and on top you have the buttons. You have the power button, and you hold that down for a few seconds to turn it on, and hold it down for a few seconds to turn it off. Then you have volume down, volume up, and the play, pause, and answer call button. This button here is play and pause, or for hands-free, is how you answer calls. Volume up, volume down, and power, and that is really it to see on it. Nothing on the bottom. See, I really like it. I think it looks really, really nice. It's just this bit here, the charge-in door can be a bit fiddly sometimes to close, but apart from that, it's really nice, and I think it looks so cool, especially this blue. I think the orange, from what I've seen in pictures, the orange would look nice, yellowy orange. But this blue, it reminds me of Tron, the movie, old 80s movie called Tron. I think they've done a remake now, but anyway, it reminds me of Tron with these blue accents, these blue sort of lines, and the black rubbery look. I just think it looks really futuristic and cool. I really like it. As you can see, there is a flickering blue light. That means it's waiting for a connection. That is Bluetooth connection saying it's waiting to pair. So a flashing blue light. I've just hit the power button. I've held it down for a few seconds. Now it's asking to pair with Bluetooth. Now on my MacBook Pro, and it's not the latest MacBook Pro, it's from 2013, late 2013 MacBook Pro, and it's a 13-inch model, so it's not the most expensive. But if you're using a Mac anyway, basically I've gone to Bluetooth and it's shown up. Now you'll probably be doing this from a smartphone or tablet, but it will show up under the Bluetooth section, either on your phone, on your computer, whatever, as BW-F3. That's not the whole company name. It won't show up as BlitzWolf or whatever. It shows up as its model name, BW-F3, and you hit pair. It says connected now. And as you can see, once I hit pair on the Mac or on your phone or whatever, that's what I did. I hit pair. Then this changed from a flashing blue light to a solid blue light. It's solid now, that light, instead of flashing. Now you can go on your smartphone or MacBook or whatever it is to sound settings. Then where you select output and the different devices, the different audio output, you'll be able to select the speaker from your list. Now I'm just to show you some sound in it, being used. I'm going to play the British Grenadiers, which is an old British military piece of music. I'm doing that. I'm not using some really cool new music, whether it might have a lot of bass and stuff like that, simply for the fact of copyright, and I don't want this video taken down, banned or whatever because of copyright on YouTube. So I'm going to play that. I won't show you much. It's just to show you it being used. Okay, so I won't play much but it's just to give you a bit of an idea and just to show you that I have actually used it and it is playing and it does work, all that. The best bit was the music, and I think that's what mostly people are going to be using this wireless Bluetooth speaker for, playing a bit of music, maybe occasionally an audiobook, but primarily I suppose to take with you, maybe to the beach or to the park and listen to some music from your mobile phone or whatever on, or maybe to a little event like a little garden party or whatever with friends or whatever. You're going over to a barbecue or whatever, you might take this with you, or you're hosting your own barbecue, just to have a good speaker outdoors to play some music on. And it does very well with music. I think the piece of music I chose is actually quite good. It might not be the latest song, it might not be very modern, it might be hundreds of years old originally, but it is a good piece of music to play because it was actually quite bassy. There was a lot of drums and pounding, and I think it really showed it actually off quite well. So what do I think of it? I think it's absolutely great. It's waterproof, it's dustproof, to some extent it's shockproof. It's got a really cool futuristic look. It's nice and rubbery, it feels good to hold, especially the handle in your hand. Nice rubbery buttons on top, easy to use, easy to set up. It's really portable, good quality sound, really good. I actually am quite fond of it. I think it's really nice speaker. So I do recommend it. It is around about £42 in the UK. Pretty average with similar spec speakers. I think it's really nice. I love the style, works well, portable, waterproof, dustproof, to some extent shockproof. Really good. I actually am very fond of it. I used a speaker recently that was meant to be IP65 rated or IPX5 rated, and I reviewed it. Then I was told after I made the review by the company, oh, it wasn't waterproof. And the other problem I had with it, not only did they say that that was a mistake on the packaging and on the product page and that it wasn't waterproof, but also it didn't work well indoors. It was primarily to be an outdoor speaker. And so if you took it outside, like in the garden, great sound, but you took it indoors and it was crackly and kept dropping the Bluetooth connection all the time. This one does not do that. I'm using it here indoors, relatively close to a DSLR camera, and it picks up and it's not dropping connection and it works well. So this works well, not just outdoors, which is probably what it's primarily intended for, just like the other one, but also indoors, and it is IPX5 rated, so I do recommend it. A link will be in the description. Please like and comment on this video, and if you could do me a huge favour and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as it will just take a few seconds and will help me out a lot. Also, if you're watching this as a review on the Amazon page, please hit the helpful or useful button along with this video on the Amazon product page. That will help me out a lot too. Thanks for watching.